Hi everyone, Marina's here. I recently got a new iMac and started setting it up for React Native development. I've already uploaded a couple of apps, but while doing that I realized something that is actually a great moment to record the real setup process. So we are going to install everything you need for build React Native app in 2026. So you actually understand why you need it and not just that you need it. Before we check what's installed, let me explain what actually each tool does. So first of all, it's Node.js and NPM. Node.js is like the electricity in your house. So React Native runs JavaScript and JavaScript needs a runtime to work outside of browsers. Node.js is that power source. Without it, nothing runs. NPM comes with Node. It stands for Node Package Manager. Think of it like a delivery service for code. So, for example, you need navigation library, or maybe you need image handling. So you use NPM. It delivers thousands of pre-built packages, so you can use them in your project. It's super cool because you don't need to make some specific feature from scratch. You can just use NPM. This is required absolutely, nothing works without it. Next one, it's Homebrew. This is a package manager for Mac. Think of it like a central installation hub for developer tools. Instead of visiting multiple websites to download different tools, Homebrew knows where everything is and installs it for you with one command. It's not required, but it makes life much easier on Mac. Next one is VS Code and extensions. I will tell you about later about my must-have extensions. VS Code, it's Visual Studio Code. This is your code editor, your workspace. You could technically write code on any text editor, but VS Code is like having a professional workspace with organized tools and assistants. The extensions are what make it powerful. In my opinion, ESLint, this is a proofreader for code. It catches syntax errors before you run the app, bad practices like unused variables, potential bugs. For example, you declare a variable but never use it. So ESLint underlines it and say, hey, this variable is declared but never used. Maybe you forget something or you can delete it. Next one, it's Prettier. This is automatic formatting for your code. You type messy code, hit save, and Prettier cleans it up automatically. Proper spacing, bracket placement. Next one, React Native tools. This adds debugging, autocomplete for React Native code, and commands to run your app through right from VS Code. Next thing, it's auto rename tag. Small but useful. When you rename an opening tag, it automatically renames the closing tag. VS Code itself is required, or you can use other editor, but these extensions save hours of time, so they are highly recommended. And my favorite one, but I know that a lot of developers hate this IDE, but I like it. So it's Xcode and CocoaPods. Xcode is Apple's complete development toolkit. You can't build iPhone apps without Apple's official tools and specifications. It's their environment, their rules. Xcode includes the iOS SDK, all the building blocks for iOS. Also, it has iOS simulator, virtual iPhone on your computer, and it has build tools that compile your code for iPhone. The simulator is like having test device. You don't need to buy multiple physical iPhones. You test your virtual devices, iPhone 15, iPhone SE, iPad, all on your computer. And of course, you can test your app on your physical device too. CocoaPods manages iOS dependencies. Your React Native app need many pieces like navigation, images, networking, maps. So CocoaPods gets a list of what you need and configures everything for iOS. Without it, you'd manually configure every library. Both of these things, Xcode and Cocoa Pods are required to build iOS apps. Next one is Android Studio. Personally, it's my least favorite IDE. So this is a Android equivalent of Xcode. Google's official development tools for Android app includes Android SDK, all the Android building blocks, Android emulator, virtual Android phone, build tools called Gradle, everything needed to compile and run Android apps. The emulator is your test environment. You can test on different Android devices virtually. You required it if you want to build an Android app. Also, I forget to tell you about Xcode. You need Apple device to officially set up this program on your computer. And you can have some optional tools. For example, Watchman, it watches files for changes. I'll skip this for now because sometimes in real time, like in real company projects, you can probably disable it because auto reload during debugging can cause conflicts or confusions when you're trying to reproduce a bug. So skip Watchman for now. But it's good to know about this tool, I think. Other optional tool for like basic setup, but it's probably required tool for real React Native development. It's Reactatron. It's debugging tool. It's like having visibility into your app's internal state. We'll add this later when we actually need to debug something in my next apps or projects. Another optional tool is Postman, but also it's optional only for beginners, but for real projects it's a necessary tool. So we'll talk about Postman and Reactatron a little bit later. So don't install everything up front. Install tools when you need them. Okay, now you understand what each tool does and why we need it, and let's check what I already have installed and what we need to add. So let's check existing apps on my iMac, and first of all it's Node.js. Yeah, I was sure that I have it, but I need to double check. So if you don't, you can go on the Node.js website and download it here. One important thing you should know that they usually have latest LTS version. It's like latest tested version and just latest release. So usually it's better to have this one. So next thing, also you can install Node with Brew, Homebrew. As I mentioned before, it's like package manager for Mac. So I will check what version I have here. Oh, mistake. Brew version. Yeah, I have Homebrew. So technically you can use just your terminal. If you have Homebrew on your device, you can use it for installing packages like Node too. Also, good practice is have Brew always updated. Yeah, let's do this right now. Oh, and if you want to download Brew, you can go also on their website. And you will have here this installation command. You copy and just enter. When you install your Node.js, you usually have npm installed or yarn. Right now we're talking only about npm, so I will check what version I have here. Good. Let's check VS Code. I'm pretty sure that I have it. Yep. Let's go to extensions. As I mentioned previously, I really like ESLint and also Prettier. This one, install. Good. So You can check other extensions. There are a lot of really good things. You can improve your work with them. So you need maybe some time to check and maybe make some your own research about these extensions. And if you have some really good recommendations, I'm really open for them, and you can leave them in the comment section. I will be pretty happy to see some fresh ideas. Yeah, because this is like super basic. Why this matter? Imagine working with multiple developers and everyone has different formatting habits, and someone use 2 spaces, some use 4 spaces, some use tabs, and the code works, but it's inconsistent and hard to read sometimes. Or it's not like hard to read, but it's distracting, and sometimes you can spend more time for reading code only because of formatting. Yeah, and it's not funny. It's a real issue. So Prettier solved this problem. Everyone hits save and Prettier formats it in the same way. So to enable this feature with savings, you should go to settings, and we should find format to save. Format and save, and here check mark. Good. Another thing, if you want to add, it's React Native tool. Why you need this one? Because it adds some autocomplete for React Native and some debugging compatibilities and some commands to run your app directly from VS Code, error detection specific to React Native. So like also some nice features. And next one is Xcode. To download Xcode, you have 2 options. First one, it's to go to App Store and download it from here. It's one of the options, but usually you want some stable version, like tested version for a work. So it's better to download it other way. So you can put not just Xcode, like Xcode releases or versions, and go here. And this is okay. This is a website we need. So right now you can see this is a beta. So here you should find version like release to be sure that everything works fine. And download here. A little bit about Xcode. It's pretty heavy. It's like about 10-15 gigabytes, and it takes a lot of time. So next step for iOS development, we need a CocoaPods. I don't have CocoaPods, so it's a good chance to install it. Now we can check our. So there's, you can see our all list of different types of simulators. And run. Yep, looks like everything works, and we have here working Xcode and simulator and ready to create new apps. Android Studio. I'm sure that I don't have Android Studio right now, so let's go and download it. So there is Android Studio. Good. And we need to accept this one too. Let's check emulator here. Yeah, it looks good right now, and we're ready for working on our apps. So it's a super basic setup for React Native, and we are ready to start creating new apps. But before we wrap up, I want to say a few words about other optional tools I mentioned before, like Reactitron. I really like this for real applications. So this is an open source project. It's super cool debugging tool for React Native development, and debugging it's like very big part of our work on applications, so you should have really good tools for this job. Other testing tool I mentioned before, it was Postman. I think this is also really cool debugging tool. But this one is specifically for API calls. If you work with real projects, like production projects, when you work in cross-platform teams, it's like very easy to check if this is a problem from your side or it's a backend problem. So another one tool I didn't mention before, but it's really popular, it's Flipper from Meta. This is the same idea as Reactitron, so you can choose any of them. I worked previously with Reactitron and I liked it, but maybe sometime I will check Flipper too. But in general, the same idea. So right now we have everything required to build and run React Native app. The other tools are for some specific workflows and debugging scenarios. So maybe we will talk about some of them a little bit later in other videos. Alright, so now you have a complete React Native development environment. What we set up? Node.js and NPM for foundation, Homebrew package manager for Mac, VS Code with essential extensions, ESLint, Prettier, React Native tools, Xcode and Cocoa Pods for iOS development, Android Studio with SDK for Android development. Development environment setup isn't instant, but it's a one-time process. If you're learning React Native or returning to development after a break, subscribe. I'm posting regularly as I rebuild my skills, telling about my story. If you run into issues I didn't cover, drop them in the comments. I'll help you if I can, or we can figure out together. If I forget about something or you have some ideas or your personal vision of your basic setup for React Native in 2026, I will be really glad to read your comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos. Bye.